So today on one of those professional networking forums, someone asked, wouldn't you like to go back to the 1980s and 1990s and enjoy a much simpler life back then, without all of these digital distractions? To which I replied, absolutely not. But I'd like to have my privacy back. And this gets to a big pet peeve that many people have about amateur radio, GMRS, and other radio services. They require a license, and thus the FCC has to collect your personal data, such as your name and address. And then they expose that to the world. But what if I told you that there was a radio service where you could operate handheld radios without a license, have decent range, and you have the ability to add external antennas and data transmission capability? Well, friends, today we're going to explore just that. And I have these cool little radios from Retevis to show you too. Hey, if you're new to the channel, why not help us get the word out? We're growing pretty fast, but I want Ria's Shack to be your #1 destination for all things radio. I can't do that without you, so why don't you do me a solid, give me a like, hit that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell. It helps me out so I can bring more cool videos to you. Thanks a bunch. Alrighty, well, as you may have guessed, that radio service is called a Multi-Use Radio Service, or MURS. MURS was introduced in the fall of 2000 by the FCC, but adoption had been slow. It was previously part of business band, and there were the color dot radios. It's kind of that weird cousin to FRS, GMRS, and CB. You know, the one who's weird, but you kind of figure that she's smarter than she looks. Okay. Anyway, like CB, MURS doesn't require a license as it is licensed by rule. This means that you don't have a call sign and don't have to surrender your privacy to the FCC. And it doesn't cost you $70 or $35 sometime next year, as long as you adhere to Part 95 FCC rules and you aren't a representative of a foreign government. You're good to go. It has 5 channels in the 151 megahertz frequency range, and they have a bandwidth of 11.25 kilohertz for 3 of them, and 20 kilohertz for the last 2. I wouldn't go into unofficial channel designations such as calling frequencies, because to be honest, a lot of that stuff seems to be made up. But I will say that channel 4 and 5 may be occupied by others such as stores and construction sites, since they used to be the old color dot business band radio frequencies. That said, I think they might have upgraded their radios by now. Like GMRS and CB, you have to use certified radios. Yeah, I know many of you will say, I ain't gonna worry about the FCC and I use whatever radio I want. Guys, don't shoot the messenger, okay? I'm telling you the rules and it's up to you to obey them. Anyway, unlike GMRS, you can connect a more efficient external antenna to it and increase your range, or a shorter antenna to make the radio more portable. You're allowed 2 watts of power. This is in comparison with 4 watts for CB and 50 watts for GMRS, and it's exactly like 2 watts for FRS. This does affect your maximum range. However, MURS is on VHF, so you can theoretically squeeze a bit more range out of it with handheld radios and save a bit of battery life. I have a video on why VHF and UHF are different, so if you want to watch that, it'll be linked at the end. Typical range can be a few city blocks to a few miles in an open area. You can enhance that and get much further using directional high-gain antennas. MURS also has data capability. It's been used for all sorts of applications, from remote driveway alarms to the original GoTenna wireless communicator. GoTenna has since gone on to use high UHF and mesh networking, but the original units use MURS. Another thing to note is that unlike GMRS and ham radio, you have no repeaters whatsoever on MURS. It makes sense since there are only 5 channels, separated to 29 on GMRS, compared to 29 on GMRS. You can't really communicate, but you know what? I think for most people, they won't miss it. If you're just walking around in an area with no cell signal, or thinking or hiking, and you just want to keep together, then you'll be doing simplex radio to radio. Anyway, so let's check out the goods. Today I have a pair of Retevis RT21V. It's a VHF radio that pre-programmed and certified to MURS. With these radios, you get the radios, batteries, belt clips, wrist straps, and a pair of charging cradles. These are USB, so you can actually charge these using one of those multi-port chargers like the Anker PowerPort 10. Or you can even use a solar generator like the EcoFlow River Mini I have here, or even directly from solar panels if they have a USB port. By the way, if you want one of the EcoFlow batteries, EcoFlow is having a huge sale right now, so check out the link below. Turn on the radio and it gives you voice prompt.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
This radio does not have a display, but you know what? It's totally not necessary. It will announce the channel as you turn the knob, which is even perfect for someone who is blind or operates the radio on their belt with a speaker mic. Speaking of speaker mics, this has the standard Kenwood pinout, so you can use a lot of different speaker mics or even a headset if you wanted to. The speaker audio is nice and loud, and the mic gives you a crisp, clear audio.
Welcome to Ria's Shack. Like and subscribe.
As mentioned, the antenna is detachable and the connector is SMA, male pin, so it's just like a Baofeng. If you're getting external antennas, be sure to keep that in mind. You may need adapters. Otherwise, there's not much more about this radio, to be honest. It's dirt simple. Just set matching channels and you're off to the races. No, really. So one thing I just wanted to go over in the manual was, I said MURS is narrowband on these last two channels, but apparently these, in this radio, they're all narrowbanded for some reason. So I'm going to have to check that. I need to fire up a Windows PC. I actually only have a Mac right here with me right now, so it's kind of hard. But then you can also adjust the squelch, right? The tone squelch, CTCSS, tone squelch. You can adjust all these values using the programming software. I might go through that sometime. And then you have digitally coded squelch here. You can add that in. So you can add either a tone squelch, an analog tone squelch, or a digital tone squelch code, but you must use the software. Just two things I wanted to mention. And there are several things you could do in software, but I just want to go over basic operation of the radio. We'll do it more in depth. Okay. If you want one, check the description below and I have links to purchase. At the time of this video, they have their Black Friday sale going on for both the radios and accessories. So if you want to pick up a full kit, you can do so below. Hope you enjoyed this one. I am Ria. Take care and have a good one. Keep on hamming. Keep on MURSing. Whatever. See you later.